Hello UKCers, and it's time to review this one, which is the Twosun TS164. This is a Chinese made knife. Twosun are a Chinese brand, as you can see right there. But they're actually, whatever you think of Chinese companies, these guys are quality. I've had their TS90. And I really like that knife. That's a really nice knife with a great walk and talk. Big fan of Twosun. I'm actually looking at a bunch more of their knives as well, because they've just come out with some more UK legal ones. This one cost me, what was it, £80.49 on AliExpress. They apparently, if you're in America, when they get a new knife, they launch them on eBay, and then they later translate to their AliExpress store. So if you see them post on Instagram a knife and you don't see it in their AliExpress store, it should be coming. But they're generally more expensive on eBay anyway. So this will come in your standard Twosun box. Very boring. Greased up to high heavens. Get rid of that thing. Don't know if there's a warranty as such. They do seem to talk to people on Instagram though, so you might be able to get help. But you are going to probably have to send it to China, so there's that. Action on this thing. It's got a pretty solid half stop, and as long as you're using this, it's fairly easy to open. Nothing too crazy. That you got this weird, like, what looks like it should be a hole, but is just milled out into the blade there. And it's also got a weird, like a knuckle here for the spring. It just knuckles down because it's like they've exposed the end of the spring there where it couples, which is quite nice, So it's a different design. Looks quite nice. This is, I believe this is phosphor bronze washers. It is phosphor bronze washers, and if you want to see this in pieces, go and check my first impressions where I take this apart briefly. So you've got yourself your stop pin there, which is lovely. T8s, T6s, who'd have thought? It's just your standard affair. Do get yourself a lanyard hole just there, which is actually quite nice. It's not just a hole drilled through. It's actually a lanyard pin there. You get yourself a pocket clip, which is tip up, right hand carry only. There's no way of swapping that any other way. So if that bothers you, oh well, but this has titanium scales with obviously there's no liners on there. I don't know if that's a steel spring. It looks like exactly the same material as this, and that's titanium. But I just don't know. It's got this weird forced patina on it as well, which is questionable. But we'll get to that. That is what it is. Grip. Do you know? I'll be honest right now. This knife looks weird to me. It's a weird looking knife. Okay, I don't hate it, but I don't pull this out of my pocket and gaze at it like I don't know, like this Viper here. That's a stunner. You take that out of your pocket and you have a look at that for a minute. You just get on with it with this thing. Night Morning Design, by the way, who's a great designer. I think this is just a miss, this one. But yeah. However, even though it looks a bit odd, the grip is really nice. Don't really get to choke up there, although that looks like it could easily accommodate a finger. Just doesn't really work. Although, I guess if you want to get into like a whittling position, it would sort of work. Just get just the edge of your finger around there. Yeah, do you know what? I suppose I'll give it that. I don't do whittling, so I've never really tried that, I suppose. But if you're trying to get like a proper, that's just naff. You just stick with that, really. However, that does stop it slicing your finger in half when you close the blade, so that's very nice of it. But as for the ergos, yeah, they're just generally pretty fantastic. You know, you get all four fingers. This doesn't produce any irritating effects. It's just a pocket clip that's there. There's no harsh angles or super high raised bits or anything like that on there. It's just a sensible, simple, elegant little pocket clip. Yeah, there's no jimping on it or whatever anywhere. Nothing stupid like that. It's just an interesting design, which is actually the main reason I picked this up, just because of that knuckle, and I've never really seen anything quite like it. What's that, like an extreme drop point, an extreme spear point? Don't know what to tell you. Fit and finish on this is, do you know what? Twosun are so good at their fit and finish. Look at that centering. No side to side blade play. Pick out something wrong with that. There is nothing. They've got their manufacturing down to an art. They are so damn good at making good, decent pocket knives. I mean, I've only experienced this in the TS90, but both have been goddamn flawless, and I've got no issues with them whatsoever. I mean, look, the way they've got that spring that comes back under the lanyard hole and through there. You know, phenomenal. Really, really nice. They've got all that cutout work in there and there to make it even lighter. The walk and talk on this, you know, it's definitely got its very own distinct sound. I don't have another knife that sounds quite like that, but it's not bad. It's certainly not like the Benchmade proper. It's just a bit of a dull, listless thud. It's definitely got its very own noise there. It's pleasant to close. It's not annoying. Blade material. This is your M390, and I think Twosun's M390 is supposed to be all right, from what I hear on the net anyway. You just get your Twosun there, your night morning design, and M390 on the blade there. Aside from that, you just have this little grippy cutout bit here, just for your fingers, which I appreciate that as well. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that looks good, but I still prefer it to a nail nick. I do not like nail nicks. They're just, I hate having to get my nail in there, and I just, from a practical standpoint, it's much quicker to just do that than to be like, you know. But that's just me. You know, if you like taking your time, by all means, I'm not judging you for liking a nail nick. I just personally, I prefer being able to get a good old grip on that blade and opening it that way. That's why I quite like long pulls, because they're good for that as well. This is a nice full flat grind, which, guess what, makes it fantastic for slicing through things. This is a really nice slicey knife, and something else that Twosun are phenomenal at is making their knives sharp when you get them. Twosun's knives are among the sharpest I've had out of the box. They are really, really good at doing it. Like, and again, haven't stropped this, haven't touched this. This is just after general EDC use. Sorry it's such a small bit, but not a problem with it at all. I don't have a single complaint about the performance of this knife whatsoever. I think this is absolutely spot on for what you want out of a knife performance-wise. Let's have a look at it up against some others. I'll chuck some stats on the screen for you right here. So this is obviously being a nice UK legal. It's going to be about the same size as your UK PK. Hello. About the same size as your Manly Wasp. And probably a little bit bigger Then your Victorinox Swiss Army knife, the Pioneer one. There you go. Do you know what? Actually, about the same size as the Pioneer. So it's not a huge knife by any stretch of the imagination. If you're considering this and you're not inundated with slip joints due to your odd laws, there it is, getting absolutely dwarfed by a Rat 1. There's your Benchmade 940 and the old staple Paramilitary 2. It's just good for a UK legal carry. It's a nice small size. You've got your pocket clip that sort of fades into the hand. You can barely see that. It's well designed. You've got this starburst effect here. The blade shape's different. It's got a nice grip pull. I think this is hideous. There, I said it. I think this is such an ugly knife. I don't hate it. It's a really nice knife. Like, it's good materials. It's ergonomically great. It's really nice and slicey. It feels nice in the hand. It works great. I don't hate having this at work. I just think this is a hideous looking knife. Like I said, I bought this as a curio. Like, so I was like, what's this coupler mechanism? Like, you can see the half stop as well there. Like, it just locks into that half stop. And I like that. I like little random designs. It's just different. It's something else. It's they try to make it not a grey slab. Not really a fan of this force patina. But if you really want, you can. And you know what? I actually really might do that with this. Dunk this in some what's it called? Some rust remover. I'll try and picture on screen of what it is now. And it will use the hydrofluoric acid to strip all this, and then you can change the colour of this in some water, some distilled water with salt or some shit in it, and some batteries, and you can change that to a nice pleasant blue or something if you want. Not digging this. The blade shape, well, yeah, that's what. Again, not a fan of that. I really don't hate it. It's really nice and slicey. As a utility knife, this is great. This is really nice. It just looks weird. You got this nice ramp that goes up here, like I said. So if you really do want to get your finger under there, it's got a perfect little perch for you. But it's just not what I'm putting in my pocket every day because it's a bit ugly. From a design standpoint, utility talking, one thing I would say about this is it is a little bit annoying that there's no, like, if that was a hole that was there that was bigger and I could just swing that open with my finger, you know, very much like one of these, like, that is so much more convenient than two hands. And if you got a pocket clip, but I do also know that I think there's a couple of countries where it has to be non-locking and two-handed to be legal. So maybe this is designed for them, and, you know, fair play to make it more inclusive. Absolutely. We got some tough old knife laws over here, so you know, I'm thankful that Hindra bothered to make a knife for us. So I can't complain, and this is a damn good knife. Like, if you can get over the looks, or you even like them, especially if you want to use this as a project knife. I mean, it's £80, but you'll get an M390 in titanium. It's a fairly good lockup. Check out the spring strength in the description. This will be on it, the TS164. This is a damn good knife. I want to hate it. I want to say it's bad, because it looks a bit ugly, but it's not dreary. It's just not beautiful. It's not boring, at least. And for that, I can only respect them. Night morning design, you know, this one isn't to my tastes, but I still don't hate it by any means. So, yeah, you know, it's just a really, I can't say anything bad about Twosun. Like, not so far anyway. I mean, Slick's recently released a video on the TS90 where he said he held that and it just did nothing for him. I'm pretty much the opposite. I thought that was a really nice knife. Paddy quite liked it as well. This one, like I said, it is what it is. It's just it's a really good knife. It looks a bit weird, but I might turn this into a project knife. Who knows? Just change the colour of that titanium. That's easy enough. Maybe do something about this. God knows. Either way, thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I didn't yammer on too much. Cheers.